Yes, once again, ladies and gentlemen, Nota is in the news for all the wrong reasons. I don't want to spoil too much, but let's just say seeing this man grovel is glorious. Let's get into it. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Newsflash. I'm your host Joe Emilio. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, so for those viewers who may not know who Nota is, he's a music producer, he's apparently a rapper, he's been involved in the music industry in South Africa for quite some time, and you may remember a few months ago, or even last year, he said some horrible things about white people, calling them Neanderthals and saying some really horrible things about white people. He has since then apologized. The South African Human Rights Commission actually got him to apologize, although I do think it was a slap on the wrist. And he gave, in my opinion, a very insincere apology. And the reason why I say that is because not even a day later, he was back to saying the horrible things about white people right after that apology. But anyway, Nota is quite the reactionary. He likes to stir the pot and all that stuff. And it seems he hasn't just upset some South Africans, he's also upset the USA. Uh-oh. And here's why. So this is a post by Nota that he made on the 11th of September 2025, as we can see by the timestamp and date there. Neanderthals can't have their cake and eat it. This weekend they went openly anti-black racist, and now they're hurt that the racist rally ended in attempted martyrdom. Charlie Kirk won't be remembered as a hero. He was used to astroturf a movement of white nationalist trailer trash. Horrible, disgusting. And the US took notice. Department of State. A South African national mocked Americans grieving the loss of Kirk, saying they're hurt that the racist rally ended in attempted martyrdom and alleging he was used to astroturf a movement of white nationalist trailer trash. Visa revoked. Now I know what some of you are gonna say, but that's not proof that Nota said that because the name and the profile pic has been blacked out or redacted. Well, if it wasn't him, then pray tell why Nota himself would attempt to do this. Because right under that post is Nota himself with another apology. I would like to make it known, or I would like to make it know, whichever way you want to say it, I guess, that I unconditionally apologize to all those that felt my post was insensitive and ill-timed in any context. I have noted the reactions and response of no more than 10 comments to a post which I feel were prompted by the State Department's announcement. And this is the apology that he attached to that post, and where he actually says, I'm an advocate for free speech, much like Charlie Kirk was famous for, and as a Christian with conservative leanings. I am a supporter of President Trump, a first-day Trumper. If I were a US citizen, I would have voted for Trump in 2016, 2020, and 2024, and possibly even in 2028, which you can't do there if the constitutional amendment necessary for that was passed. That said, I do not always agree with either Charlie Kirk or Donald Trump, which is why I disagree with this decision. So again, if it wasn't Nota, why would he himself want to apologize for a post he didn't post? So clearly he did actually post that when what happened to Charlie Kirk happened. And so here he comes to Uncle Sam, groveling. And look, I've seen some interviews with Nota. He does wear the Make America Great Again hat. So maybe he is a Trump supporter. But the problem is, Nota is such a troll. You don't know if he's being serious, if he's being facetious, if he's taking everything for a joke. Nobody knows what Nota really stands for. But one thing's for sure is that he's admittedly called white people Neanderthals and has continued to do so, and also before he gave that apology was doubling down on what he said. So in that regard, we know that he is serious about those statements, or at least stands behind those statements. I don't think Nota knows what an apology means. An apology is when you take back what you said and you learn how that offended other people or the public, and you learn from it and you make sure that you try your best not to do it again. You are not doing that, Nota. You couldn't give a damn.
He couldn't give a shit. Sorry for my French.
And now that your visa is revoked, You're groveling. It's beautiful to see, and let me tell you, the US is not going to fall for it. The US is not going to accept your apology, and they shouldn't. And here's why. Because we all see past your BS. Don't fall for it, State Department. 6 months ago, after the South African Human Rights Commission investigation, Nota issued an apology for hate speech against whites, yet he's carried on with the same behavior ever since. So as Reeb van Janbeek said on X, this guy apologizes and continues. This was 1 month ago. And here we go. Nota again. Grok, don't lie to please this Neanderthal. Dutch settlers first wrote Afrikaans into standard Afrikaans at a school in Kleinbosch Road in Paarl in 1875. So again, using the word Neanderthal a month ago, which is a few months after his so-called apology to white people. And you can find more and more examples of this from Nota. It reminds me of that saying. What's that saying? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Now, I've seen some posts on social media claiming that the Americans are bullying, right? Because they're revoking all these visas and how dare you, and free speech this and free speech that, and this goes against the Constitution, blah, 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 blah. Woke tears.
Cry babies.
Listen, I think this post that I'm about to show you puts it so eloquently. Let's have a look. I support freedom of speech. However, no one is entitled to a visa in another country. Any sovereign nation has the right to deny entry to people who insult or demean its citizens. For example, if someone publicly said that Arabs are genetically inferior, racist, and trash, they would likely be fined, arrested, deported, and banned from the UAE under its strict defamation and hate speech laws. Rightfully so. So why shouldn't similar standards apply to the US? 100% agree.
I couldn't agree more.
And if you do break any of those laws or insult or whatever, don't be surprised when your visa is revoked. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to help me or support me in finding out the truth behind land grabs in South Africa. If you want to support me, please go over to the Back a Buddy campaign linked in the description and pinned comment. If everybody donated 50 Rand or 4,000 people donated 50 Rand, we would hit our goal. And if you prefer to donate via EFT, those details are also in the pinned comment and description. Once again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to leave a like, share this video far and wide, and no matter which platform you're watching this episode on, please don't forget to drop a follow or a subscribe. I've got more content coming your way, and with all that being said, thanks for watching. Your newsflash is in.